think we're doing good. We're off to a good start, huh? What do you think?
I think that firewall's hitting good stick.
Man, a few words over here. Today we have cousin station wagon in the shop. So we got enough dynamite to get the car over here. We're gonna get this fine jewel running. We have cousin here, but he wants to be like the blur man, so he doesn't want to be seen. He's gonna be helping, so you'll see him in the background. He's gonna be working on this fine jewel, but we're gonna get this fine wagon going. So we had this one, 56 he acquired after the fact, but he had this and the 55 that I sold from him at the same time. We have the engine that's out of the 55. We got a new converter, and he has a transmission. 4L, I don't know how long it's gonna last, 60. Word on the street is this was his neighbor's, or across the street neighbor, had this and the guy decided to sell it, so he snatched it up. He wanted a new truck, he had to get rid of one car, 1 for 1. So he got rid of this and got a truck. So he started cleaning this fine jewel up. It was blue. We're going black on the firewall, where the engine is. He can finish this up later. We're gonna do the side mounts. We got to get the engine in here to get that finished up, drill the holes, bolt them down. And then we have a cross member. The whole goal is to get the engine tranny in here and bolt it in. So if you remember, I don't know if you remember this is the engine that was in the 55 that I have now, that I got from said cousin. I stole from said cousin. And I kid you not, man, my uncle would, I think, roll over in his grave if he saw it right now with all the crap on it. Literally. All the crap on it. He's been sitting in the garage, and I guess it got a little hitchhiker. This was his dad, my uncle's engine that was in his 55, that if you go back even further, he got from my other uncle.
Huh?
So this engine was built, what, like 18 years ago it was or something? Right around 18 years. I think it's been sitting now for about 10 years. He was trying to get it running in now my 55, but now he's going to this fine 56. Station wagon. A couple things, I was getting ready, I was getting prepped on it. I got the PCV valve set up here. We got an oil pressure line. He had a little nylon deal I didn't like. And then we got a gooseneck. These parts are out of my dad's leftover stuff, so it's kind of cool. My dad had a whole bin of AN fittings, so I kind of found some stuff. We got an old line for my dad's stuff, gooseneck for my dad's parts. We're using recycled parts here pretty much. We got an alternator off of a newer GM that we took I didn't put the phone on silent. Hold on. This used to be a serpentine pulley on here, so my cousin converted this to a V pulley, and then we got to do a little wire modification to get it to charge and everything to work. But this should be, I think, around 100 amp, 105, I think the GMs are. And then this is the same drive water pump stuff that it was in one of the other cars. It had a mechanical pump on it before because it was carbureted, but now my cousin's doing Sniper carburetor EFI, that's why I got the O2 bung up here. So we're doing a Sniper fuel injected deal. So we want to drivable. We got the 4L60, so we have the overdrive, and then we had to get a Circle D torque converter because we're going to the conventional Gen 1 small block Chevy. Front cover is still a lockup to a 4L60. So we got the converter to put the both together. We're gonna get going on this thing finally. Finally, one day this thing's gonna be running. I'm gonna keep the dynamite on them and keep it going. This has got a long journey to go, but we're gonna get it there. And also this engine, I think I might have mentioned it before in the previous deal, but this engine was engine dynoed. And it made 420 horsepower, and then it was like 480 foot-pounds of torque. And it's limited on the horsepower because of the Edelbrock cylinder head. It's just a 202, 160 valve head, just to perform RPMs. And it just has a small, the YN Stealth dual plane intake on it, so it's kind of restricted on the top end. But it is a 400 small block, a 406, it's, 30 over, so 406. If I remember right, on the engine, it's a stock crank, stock rodded 400, so it has a little bit shorter rod in it. But it's around 10.5 to 1 compression. So that's why the torque numbers are so high, because the 400 small blocks are torquey engine. And then the cylinder head kind of restricts the horsepower on the, I think these heads are only advertised 420 horses, what Edelbrock advertises them at, so they're maxed out.
Why do some people not like 400 small blocks?
So the 400 is because of the bore size is so big that the cylinders, they call them Siamese, so they touch. There's no water that flows in between the cylinders. They have steam ports in between. So people think allegedly, I don't have this problem, but 400s, they run hot. GM put them in cars from the factory and they don't get hot. So the Siamese cylinders aren't the problem of why they overheat. It's other issues. But that's why people don't like 400s. But they are a torque monster in a small block for sure. They have great bottom end. And that's what he wants to use this for. He wants it low speed, so we have an overdrive. He wants low speed cruising freeway is the whole goal. We're going to be doing a rear end on this that has a 342 gear. So the whole goal is to cruise, I think it's like 75, 80 or something, like 2,000 RPMs. Use the torque of the engine, cruise down the freeway, get like, 18 miles a gallon or something, pretty respectable. Be able to drive the car and enjoy it. Just wanted to give you the numbers, the stats on the engine if you have it.
The throwing yards?
Yeah, the throwing yards. Yeah, #1 fan stuff. So yeah, let's get this thing off the stand. Cherry picker wheeling on over. You're not gonna be my trust. You're not gonna be my trusty assistant. You crank then. Oh, hold on, we're already too high. Bring it on down. I don't know who strategically placed everything in the way. Wait, hold on. So, go that way there, Speedy D. Come down a little bit.
Come down.
Well, you want to pick the tranny up and put it on the engine?
I thought we were just going to test fit the motor in there first.
All right.
Right now, we're just trying to get the motor.
Well, come on around there, Speedy D. You up high enough? Careful, don't you scratch the firewall. I know the guy that owns this thing. Oh man, his mounts are like not even tight. Hold on. So after putting the engine in there, he couldn't determine the angle of it because it didn't have the tranny on it. So then he decided he wanted to add the tranny to it. So we pulled it back out, and we're going to put the converter in it, and then we're going to put the tranny on it and do it again. Put a little splash here. If you get too much in there, you go to put the converter in, and then it leaks all back out.
Hey, you look like you're doing some like...
I'm doing my workout. Do my little fitness. About ready to fit this converter in this tranny. Make sure our input shaft's not all buggered up because somebody left this thing out in the dirt field or something.
No, we're sitting in a closed trailer.
Nah, you can close trailer, dirt field, same thing. Line it up into the pump. There it is. Come on down there, cherry picker operator. Bring it on down. Bring it on down. Push it to me a little bit. Okay, hold it. You gotta hold it. Hold tension on it. There you go. Let me use these nice bell housing bolts here. Somebody's cleaned up for you. Give that proper torque. Want to do your converter bolts? I guess we can do converter bolts after it's in the car. We'll lift it up and do them. Kind of need a little bit of tilt though to get it in there. I'll put the tranny. I'll put the jack on the tranny. Level back out when we go in. I just want you to know you jack pretty good. Slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh crap! We're grabbing gears now. Ready to swing it, swing it in. Swing it in. All right, come on in a little bit. Oh, slow. Come down a little bit. Come down a little bit. Hold up. Let me get the jack on it.
You know the last time this wagon was on the road?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. It's probably been like 30 years though.
I moved in across the street from the guy 20 years ago, and the thing was already sitting in his garage then.
Oh man, 25 plus. I'd say 25 plus. This is like one of those, what do you call it, Survivor? Okay, that's good. Come on back. Survivors or whatever, you gonna get back on the road? Might have to drop that idler arm down to get it out of the way a minute. Did you talk to this guy? When he was over there, did you like, hey, I got a 55, we're like buddies, we should hang out? Like, did you ever talk to him?
He lived across the street from my in-laws for several years.
Oh.
And he worked with my father-in-law.
Oh, he's been there a while.
So he'd been there a while. I don't know exactly how long he'd had the wagon before I moved in, about 20 years back. He knew I had a 55 before I moved in.
No.
And when I moved in, he definitely saw my 55 in the garage. I'm sorry, your 55.
And it's made of tomato.
Your dad's 55.
The drag link is, this thing has an oversized pan on it, so it's kind of tight going to the drag link here, and we're hitting it. So we're going to took the idler arm loose here a minute. We're going to drop the drag link down, hopefully. Now we can come down with the engine, so we can get the dipstick, tranny dipstick off the firewall. So try bringing it down a little bit, see if we can get it to come on in now.
A few moments later.
So we got both engine mounts in. These engine mounts aren't fully installed. They need to be drilled in the front here, but we're trying to get the weight on the mounts and get everything squared up. Make sure that the tranny and engine is actually in the frame straight, running parallel with the frame. So a couple of problems we're having. The dipstick's a little closer right here to the firewall, but it might be because the back of the tranny is too low. But if we raise it up anymore, the cooler lines are right by this pinch, this body seam where the firewall comes into the floor. So the cross member that he has is, who makes this? Classic Industries or something, or Classic Performance Products? CPP makes this cross member for the Tri-5s. So this is on here upside down right now. So this is designed to go on top of the frame. This goes to the transmission.
It goes like that, and the exhaust goes underneath here.
That actually is the bottom side? It doesn't go to it normally sits that way. Does it sit that way?
We need to get this up in the air and test fit this so we can figure out
Well, we
what
can't-
would be the optimum.
We can't get it in the air because the train's gonna fall, so we gotta hold the tranny first. I say it goes this way with this up.
I don't think so.
But if you say it goes this
I
way,
believe it's that way.
Really?
nevertheless, this is designed to go over the top of the frame, sit on like so. It's supposed to be bolted in, or can be bolted in, the top and then the sides, but being that you can't exactly drill the hole on the top right now because it's
This is what happens when you buy parts 8 years ago and you lose the instructions.
Well, it's kind of self-explanatory. Like, I don't know, either way, if you had the instructions, I don't know how you would drill the top hole, but, I think this might get welded in, but nevertheless. I gotta somewhat temporarily put this in the car so I can hold the tranny so we could go up in the air and give it a good look and get the tranny straightened out. 2 inches at the tranny is gonna be minimal up here, but if you don't fix it now, it's gonna be a major pain in the butt later because your driveline is gonna be all cattywampus in your car. So we got the engine in, I went underneath, got the crossmember in there. I guess he was right on the orientation of clocking it. Wow. So because it hooks on the frame, I just have it sitting in there. So now we're gonna go up with it. We gotta get the tranny straightened out first and deal with that. Then we can finish up the mounts. But now we're thinking, instead of drilling holes and bolting this on, maybe just welding it. So we don't have to pull the engine back out.
My question is, what is this over here?
This here?
Yeah.
I don't know, I was wondering that too.
Rot.
So they fixed it with a piece and some silicone?
These 55, 56s is leaves get into the cowl vent for your vents inside. They get piled up in there and then they rot out.
So 57 was smart then by blocking off the cowling?
57 doesn't have that. They got
The ram air headlight induction?
ram air light induction.
This is the,
So
I could fix it for $500 guy?
I'm
Dude, that looks like $100.
Don't tell me this is your handiwork.
no. I did not paint the firewall blue.
I know a guy that can fix this.
I do too.
All right, well, get out of the way. Let's go over this thing.
It's the same guy who's got that car to work on, that car to work on.
Hey, focus. Over here. Over here. Focus. Give it a joust. Is it okay?
We're okay.
The car, is it going to be there? That seems pretty good. It only follows the ground though. So we got the jury out right now. So we're thinking about raising the tranny up. There's like 1.5 inches or so on top of the tranny, the case to the floorboard. And I'd like to get it up higher just to straighten out the driveline angle. So it's not such an abrupt. I think it'd be better if it went up a little bit, and then it would help, like he was just saying, the pan would almost be even with the frame, which I don't see the pan hitting anything anyways. I mean, it's in a spot where it doesn't really ever hit. All right, we're gonna jack this transmixer up. We're bringing it up about around here is what I'm thinking.
I already have the 1-inch drop coils for the front. I'm going to get a 2-inch drop spindle. I'm looking at either a 2 or 3-inch drop rear leaf spring.
Well, then you want to bring it up then.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna help the drive shaft, the U-joint angle. Okay, so what we decided to do is we're gonna bring the transmission up. So by doing that, we can't use this as designed because this is designed to go over the frame like so, and you can see how much we're raising it up. This is how much we're raising the tranny up in the car. So if we just bring these up, it's gonna hit this part's gonna hit the floor. So what I'm gonna do, because this is designed to bolt in, and obviously you can't get to the top one because of the body's in the way. So I'm gonna take it right here at this angle, this cut, right here at this corner, and I'm gonna cut it straight. So then I'm gonna clean this all up, and then I'm gonna clean this up, and I'm gonna weld it. I'll weld this to the frame so it's up here like this, and then I'll weld the side and then the bottom. And we got the tranny centered up in the frame here on both sides, and we want to get this up as high as possible because he's going to be lower in the car, so the rear end's going to go up in the car, so it helps on the driveline angle, so the U-joints don't have a drastic angle on the U-joint, so it straightens it out more. So the transmission's off the floor, so it won't be any rattling or anything. We got the cross member all finished up. Old cousin came up with a good idea again. He decided to flip the brackets. Instead of having this cut thinner and putting it on top like I originally was thinking, we just cut the hook part off of it and put it on the bottom side. And I think it turned out really trick. It was a good idea. Got it welded here on the bottom. Little touch-up paint. Got the slip yoke put in it just to keep dirt and stuff out of it. We're not gonna finish the driveline today, so we added the zip tie just so it doesn't rattle out on the trailer. And we got the tranny centered up in the frame here, so it's dead centered to this casting mark. Got the converter bolts in it. We got the engine mounts snugged up on the back 2 bolts, and then we're just gonna clean the front, and we're just gonna weld the front so we don't need to pull the engine back out. Now we know we got the tranny good. We'll lower down, we'll finish up the engine mounts. I think we're doing good. We're off to a good start, huh? What do you think?
I think that firewall's hitting dipstick.
Man, a few words over here.
We've made progress, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
You say that same thing. What do you think about this?
Yeah,
Well, I think the dipstick's in the firewall.
Real McCarty. You're a real McCarty.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You got some of that in you too, sir.
You got more McCarty in you than I got in me.
How do you know that?
That's what your dad always told me. So So what we got going on here with these spark plugs? What's what are they gapped out right now?
About 33.
No, it's like 43. So what's the debate? So what would more gap do?
I have no idea.
What would shorter gap do?
Makes it easier for the spark to jump the bridge between the electrode and the strap.
So if you have more gap and you don't have enough spark, would it be able to arc the gap?
No, it wouldn't.
So how much gap do you want? How much fire do you have?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just know it's an HEI distributor from Summit.
I'd say put them in. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments what the proper spark plug gap should be. And then when you do gap them, is it proper if they're too much? Do you go like this? To close the gap on the spark plugs?
No.
Is that the proper way to do it?
No.
I want to know. I need to know. Let me know. Tell me. Tell me. So that's the beginning. The beginning of getting this thing back on the road. Hopefully you don't sell this one before it's running. I'm not upset that he sold the other one before it was running.
You got your dad's car back.
So hopefully he doesn't sell this one before it's running. We're gonna get this on the road. Hold on, we gotta. Dude's making a test hit real quick. Deal with the idler arm, put the bearing on it. This header's good. We got a dipstick in it. We decided not to put the distributor in because we want to prime it, and I need to put a plug in here before we forget. We don't have any oil in it right now because we got to put a starter on it. It's easier to find top dead center. So I guess this one was last registered in '87. Hold on, you can't see this. Top secret. You got to be the person that blurs out the license plate.
Blur it out.
Oh,
'Cause
don't.
Nobody's gonna see this driving down the road.
The 14 million people when you see it driving down the
I'm
street.
gonna have a different license plate probably.
Oh, he's gonna be under the radar. Under the radar. So I guess this car hasn't been on the road since '87.
This is gonna join my wall like your wall.
Wow, everybody's gonna have a wall. It's good stuff. So make sure you come back, like, share, subscribe, give me your comments. What do you think about spark plug gaps, indexing, timing, all that good stuff, man. See you next time.